Hi, this is Sam over here and welcome back to Build FBA. And in this video, we're going to see how to find profitable products. I'm going to show you 4 easy ways to find profitable products to sell on Amazon. The first 2 methods are the free ones. The other 2 will need a tool which I will discuss in detail. The fourth one is the most easiest and it's my favorite. It takes hardly for me, it takes 20-25 minutes to find a really good product. For you, it might be an hour or so, but it works awesome. Also in this video, I'm going to show you the criteria which you should go through in order to select your product. So let's get going. So the first strategy is to find products through bestsellers category. So bestseller category gives you an idea of one of the top selling products. So over here, you go to bestsellers. Now let's say we want to get into a baby products category. So go into baby products. Let's say we want to get into travel gear. Then we can select subcategory into it, child seats. We can get, so there are again a subdivision into it. So we can, let's say we can go with trailers. And there you have it, the best sellers in child category. So one of the products which I feel is really interesting is this one. Doesn't has a lot of reviews and it still sells well. Let's see how many. It sells 700 units a month. So I'm using Helium 10 to get the data. There are multiple tools which I'll discuss later in the video. But if you go to bike trailers in the child category, these are the products which are selling awesomely well. So some even sell more than 100k units, $100k a month. This is $78k a month, $6,000, $5,000, $200,000. Yeah, that's a pretty decently good product to sell in Amazon. This is a really good line of products. Now let's get going. The other way is to get into the second one, which I'm going to talk of, is getting into Amazon Launchpad. So in Launchpad, you get all the new products which are newly launched and doing pretty well. So let's get into Amazon Launchpad, which is basically new releases. Now again, in new release, let's get into baby category. So we get into baby. So these are, even in the beginning, you can see that there are many products which are launched and they're doing awesomely well. We can always get into Helium 10. It's a Helium 10 extension. I have left a link in the description. So that's really good sales. I mean, for a product which is newly launched, which has less than 100 reviews, most of these products are doing pretty well. Some products, of course, are not showing that great data, but most of the products I can see is doing around $56,000 of sale, which is really good for a product which is newly launched and has just 67 ratings, 67 reviews. So this is the second way of finding products, profitable products to sell on Amazon. The third one is, for that we are going to get into Helium 10. So there are various ways to find products. Before we get into third and fourth ways of finding products, I would like to talk about criteria to select your product. There are multiple criteria. I go with this rule of 10, wherein the 10 things which I look for when searching for a product to sell on Amazon. The first is reviews in that product category, or let's say reviews in that whole bunch of products which are sold on a keyword. I look for less than 1,000 reviews. So the highest seller should not be having more than 1,000 reviews, because it's very difficult to compete with sellers or with the products who have 10,000 reviews or 20,000 reviews or 15,000 reviews, and you don't have any reviews to start with. You will get 25, 30 reviews with wine program and some other stuff, but achieving more than 1,000 reviews in a short period of time is going to be difficult. So we always try to find products which have lesser reviews and are selling high on Amazon. The other thing is, we try to find products in the category where we can build a brand around it. So when you build a brand, your product becomes long selling. So let's say you are getting into a product which is teeth whitening product. Once you go to teeth whitening, you can do a toothbrush, you can do whitening strips, you can do whitening powder. So you can build a whole brand around it. So try to get into those kind of categories. Again, you have to look at products which have an improvement potential. So a product, let's say it has 4-star reviews or 3.8-star reviews, which means the product has a potential. The best way to do is get into the reviews of that product and see what the customers are saying. There are tools like Helium 10. Again, I'm going to discuss of that as we continue, which helps you finding what are the customers' pain points in that whole review. So it assimilates all the data and provides you the key points of what the customers are saying or something which you don't like about the product, which you can incorporate into your product. The fourth one, which I'm going to talk of, is high demand and profitability. So most people say, oh, go and find a product which has high demand and low supply. That's not possible. I mean, if the product is on high demand, if there's some kind of a product which is on high demand, there are going to be a lot of sellers on it because it's in high demand. But at the same time, we should see that the product has not just high demand, but also has a good profitability on it. When I say profitability, you need to have at least 25 to 35% margin on the selling price, which basically means 100% ROI or at least 50% ROI on your product. Because you will be running PPC campaign and other campaigns which will bring down your margin. So you should, net margin of your product should be at least 25%. The other one which I always believe is less variation and a non-seasonal product. Some products are very seasonal, like something which you sell on New Year's Eve or something which you sell on Christmas. So those kind of products are something which you want to stay away from, or even a Halloween product. So those products are something which I don't like to get into because the demand it goes and it drops and it stays flat across the year. So that's not something which you should be selling because it's not a long-term game. Well, the other thing is lot of people you must have heard from that they say that don't sell products more than $100. So before that, so the product which I look out for in selling is anything which is more than $25. But can go up to $150 or something even beyond that. What is mostly assumed by a lot of sellers is that selling a product at a higher price point also means that having low demand. But if your product is in the higher category, it might have a low demand, but if you have a higher profitability and you have a decent sale. So let's say you have a product which costs $50 and you sell 100 units of it. But if you have a product which sells at $150 and you sell around 45 or 50 units of it, you still make more sales, and that's what matters in the end. I'll give you a very nice example of a product. So let's get into a product which will make you understand that why you should not always categorize yourself into a low price product. So let's say you decide to sell a kettle. You decide to sell kettle for boiling water. And if you can see over here, there are many kettles which are sold on Amazon, and an average price of a kettle is $24, $25. Now tell me something, will you sell a product in this category which is worth more than $100? Maybe not. You will think back and you'll say, oh, these products are all priced below $64 or $65 for something like a gooseneck kettle, and you might just say, oh, I don't want to get into this category. But you'll be surprised. So let's see kind of a sales which this $25, $35 product has. There you go. So the highest selling product over here makes more than $1 million, $1.5 million of sale. The others average at around $800,000 to $300,000 of sale. But let's get into so this might make you think that, oh, I don't want to create a product which is a high price product. But let me give a small example of a well-known brand which I know and which has recently grown pretty well. That's Fellow. Now this brand sells gooseneck kettles and they sell at $165 a unit. And you can see how much sales they do. They do more than 2,000 units a month. There you go. So they do around $500,000 of sale from this single product, which can clearly show that it doesn't matter if your product is at $35 or $165. Of course, there has to be something different. Your product has to be really well designed and has to be a game changer. So the Fellow has really awesome design for something which used to be a very normal kettle product. They came up with really great product in a great category. They of course started from Kickstarter and then they slowly got into Amazon and all. but they are one product which is doing very well for them for almost last 3-4 years, since for almost last 3 years as far as I remember. So anyways, moving back to the criteria, the other one is having a great improvement potential. Doesn't need to be a huge improvement potential, but even a small improvement potential can help you differentiate your product from other sellers. The other thing which you really want to look at is that a product which is not into a fad category. A product which might be into a fad category, like a back in the day we used to have spinners, the fidget spinners. They did awesomely well and then they drop off. Now you don't see many of them. So if you don't want to get into a product which can be tagged as fad. The other thing I would like to say is that we need to see that the product does not has any kind of patent. Of course, you can modify and move away from patented products, but let's not get into a product which has extreme patents and you try to copy those products. Those are something a complete no-go, or even something which might have some kind of legal issues going forward, or products which might be difficult to sell, or a product like a melting product. So the Amazon does not like products which melt, so they prefer not to store those kind of products. The other thing which I like to look at is that the product should not be easily breakable. So product something like a glass product which can easily break in transport, that's something which I completely avoid. The other one is the product should be small and light. When I say small and light, doesn't mean that the heavy products are not something to be sold off, but if you're a new seller, try to stick in the small category product, something which can fit into a shoe size. That's something which you're looking out for. And with all this, let's get into our third category or third way of finding a product through Helium 10. Before I get into third and fourth category, there are many tools available online for an Amazon seller to find products, and these are the best tools. One of the most popular tools is Jungle Scout, Helium 10 and AMZ Scout, out of which I personally use Helium 10, since Helium 10 has accurate data and it has wide variety of tools which you can use easily to find the products which you need, and then you can use those tools even to create a listing, find keywords, not just do a product research but also do a keyword research, competitor research, and it has more than 36 tools to help you find or to help you with Amazon selling. Having said that, I just work out with Helium 10 and they got us 20% off for 6 months. There's a link in the description to get those 20% off on your product. Just click on the link. The coupon code is already applied on the link. So the third way of finding a product is through Helium 10, which is one of the well-known tools of Helium 10. It's called Black Box. And there are two ways of finding a product. One is through a product research and the other one is through a keyword research. As you know what the criteria we are looking at. So in this, once you get into tools, get into Black Box, get into products, I'm going to select an advanced over here. And then let's select a category of products that we want to sell our products in. Of course, baby products. I will not get into appliances for someone who is newly selling on Amazon, because electronic products can have returns if they do not perform. Maybe beauty and personal care, not cell phone. Electronics, I'm going to avoid. Health and household, home and kitchen, industry and scientific, kitchen and dining, office products, music instruments, I avoid right now. Pet supplies, sports and outdoors, tools and home improvement. Well, sports and outdoor is mostly seasonal, but it sells so well during high seasons that it takes care of whole year of profitability in just those 4-5 months of good season. So the price which I'm minimum looking for is $30. Monthly revenue should be at least $5,000. Review count, I would not like to go beyond 100. Fulfillment, I'll select FBA and FBM. As I said, FBA is fulfilled by Amazon and FBM is fulfilled by merchant. I would not select products just sold by Amazon because Amazon does has a competitive advantage when they sell products on their own website. I think this should be enough for now and we can just get it going. So here you go. So Helium 10 provides you all the data. It provides your product name, the category of the product, the price, monthly sales, monthly revenue, and the reviews on the product. So this is a very interesting product. If you see, it's a scalp pattern jute Bohemian area rug. The product sells 300 units a month. It costs $60 and it does $17,520 worth of sale. It has just 3 reviews on the product. Let's open the product. That's just the first product. I mean, you can call it a luck by chance. But this is a product which I would avoid because it has a lot of variations. But there's something interesting in this product. If you see, the product is sold by FBA, which is fulfilled by a merchant. So I'm sure it takes a lot of delivery time. There you go. So the product, if you order today, it will take you almost 8 to 10 days to get delivered to you. So having said that, the product is directly fulfilled by a merchant, all of it. Anyways, we are not getting into this product. So this is a product which I would like to avoid since it's has a lot of variations in it. So anyways, we can actually reduce down the variation in the filters and say that I don't want a product maximum variations to. Let's apply a filter. So yeah, there you have it. Bermuda. Oh, so this has 100 sales. As I said, look, this product costs $629 and it has more than $100,000 of sales a month. But I think it's a heavy product, if I'm not wrong. It's a heavy product. It's something which I would not like to get into. Something electronic is a no-go for me. Or someone who at least a new seller, I suggest not to get into it. So in this plan which I have, you get to see maximum of 200 results. You can always search by monthly revenue and you will find much more. There will be some products which might be a brand, something like a native, which is a brand, and it's not something which I'll suggest you to sell just because it has low reviews. But something which is more of a non-brand. I'll not call it a non-brand, but not a very well-known brand, and it's doing pretty good. So yeah, there are multiple products. I mean, I don't want to create a very long video, but you get an idea that what you can search for a product. So the fourth and my most favorite way of finding a product is through keyword research, which makes you find keywords which are in demand, but the products against that keyword are not many. So in black box, you go to keywords and then you put a search volume of minimum, let's say 1,000, minimum revenue of $5,000, price minimum, I'll again put like $31, max review count 100. And of course, you can select categories. I'm just going to select the categories: art and saving, art and crafts. I'll select baby, beauty and personal care. Books is something which I don't sell, and I think there are some category of people who do sell, but it's not something of my liking. Clothing is something I will avoid because it has a lot of variations. Electronics, again, avoid. Health and household, yes. Home and kitchen, industrial, scientific, oh yes, why not? Kitchen, dining. Office products, lawn and garden, pet supplies, again, sports and outdoors, tools and home improvement. Toys and games, again, it's not something which I like personally. So there you have it. So this shows you a reviews on an average for this keyword and the monthly revenue. So chair and ottoman. Oh, what is this fly sheet for horses? That's an interesting. Well, this is something which you can explore. Look over here. The maximum, the number one seller on this keyword is having only 711 reviews, whereas the rest is having 1 review, 5 review. Let's see how much sales they are making. So you go to Helium 10 and Helium 10 extension, which is a Chrome extension, and you click on Xray. Okay, so this is doing around $1,000 of 800. So this is something which I will skip. Laundry sink with basket. Let's search with monthly revenue and search for higher revenue products. Let's click again. Yeah, U-shaped couch. So that's not something I want. So on the page number 4, I found, so if you can see, I went from 1, 3, 4. On the page number 4, I found one product which I find to be an interesting. Let's get into this. Let's check out this product. So this is like a cold tub. So this is something which you can again create a brand around it. The reviews on the highest selling is just 313 reviews. Let's get into now how much sales does this products are making. Oh, there you have it. So among the top 3 products, they are doing anywhere from $31,000, $123,000, $174,000. against reviews of 246, 404, 30. Again, this is a sponsored list, so I'm going to avoid that. So 34 reviews over here. And it does $29,000 of sales for a product which is a basic ice bath. So this is a huge product, but this is actually a foldable and it can be converted into a small product. It's not it doesn't fit into our criteria of a shoe size, but I think it's still a sellable product and the product is doing really good. If you see over here, the reviews are just 3.5 and does $28,000 of sale, which means there's a sure shot scope of an improvement on this product. Let's get into it. Let's get to reviews right now. So Helium 10 has in the Helium 10 extension, there's an option where you can get into review insights. Get into review analysis and find what is the reasons why the product is okay. The product, people like it because it's easy to assemble. Let's find why the product is not liked. Okay, the product is not of a good quality. It split today after only 2 weeks of use. After assembling the product, I could barely fit in the product comfortably. So some people are finding it to be a small product. Maybe you can try and increase the size a little bit of this product and make it more comfortable for people. So water was able to drain out, but only after the tearing and most of the water. The PVC ball valve started to leak after 4 days. So the wall of this product is not that great. So that is something which you can improve and find a product. So I'm not going to get into more details, but these are the 4 simple ways of finding a product on Amazon. As you see, Helium 10 is something which I personally like. Already worked out a discount code with Helium 10, which is 20% off for next 6 months. You can just check out a link in the description. So that's all about for this video. If you like me to make more videos, if you have any comments, feel free to drop your comments. And if you have any questions,